Thank you very much, Lasca Hirlock. I too want to welcome Minister O'Brien into the House this morning. I also want to thank the Cathaoirleach for selecting this important matter. Minister, we are here again to discuss the ongoing issues with housing aid and housing adaptation grants and the report that is due into the review of these grants. Not a day goes by but I get a call regarding these grants and queries from the good people of Kildare and Laois. The problems have not gone away since I raised this matters last November. In fact, in my opinion, it is safe to say that the problem has increased for many public representatives dealing with these grants, and most importantly, the problem has also increased for those seeking to use these grants to improve their lives. Indeed, the last time I raised this with the Minister, he informed me that he too was having problems in his own office with these grants. To put it on the record once again, these grants have, can and will make a difference to the lives of those who apply and have applied and who are successful. As the Minister for State, I'm sure, will be aware, the grants make a significant difference to the quality of life for so many older people and those with medical issues who need assistance. But unfortunately, many of the applicants I'm dealing with now have their grants on hold because of the rising building costs and the cost of materials. The maximum payout of $30,000 on the housing adaptation grant does not cover near the cost of adapting a house for a bathroom, where quotes are coming in around $40,000 to $50,000, or an extra downstairs bedroom, where some of the quotes I have seen are up to $60,000 and above that. We continue to see rising building costs. These rising costs rule many families out of availing of these grants, as the maximum payment continues at $30,000, as I've said. The reality for those applying is that the work will not be completed and their loved ones will remain without what could be life-changing extensions that would hugely improve their quality of life and that of their families. Many others have turned to their credit unions where they could, others trying desperately to access money from relatives and friends. The current limit, Minister, for the housing aid grant is €8,000. The reality on this worthwhile grant is that more and more applicants are applying for window replacement, roofs and heating, and they're finding that the figure is nowhere near enough to cover the cost of the quotes they receive. Prices for work in this area are now closer to €12,000 rather than the €8,000 that the grant may offer. These issues are having a knock-on effect. In some of the cases I'm dealing with and have dealt with, the applicants must remain in hospital because the family simply cannot afford the cost of the works done to their home. In some other cases, the applicants must come home and convert an unsuitable downstairs room into a temporary bedroom and toilet. I want to put on record, as I have done previously, Minister, my thanks to the excellent local authority staff dealing with these grants who continue to be inundated with queries from worried applicants, fearing that they will not get the work done on their homes. We need to provide additional resources to local authorities to cover the administration of these grants. Most importantly, Minister, we need to change the criteria so these works can be completed. I know, Minister, when I raised this important issue with Minister O'Donnell at the Housing Committee in April, he acknowledged that he had the report and that the department were working on it, and that upon further questioning, he confirmed that he would have an update in a couple of months. So a couple of months later, we are here today, Minister, and I do hope that you bring some good news for the sake of so many, and that an updated grant, which I have no doubt will change the lives of so many, will be forthcoming from the government. Thank you very much, Lasca Hirlock.
Thank you very much. Before I call on the
Chair, and I'd like to thank the Senator for raising this important issue and allowing me the opportunity to provide an update on this matter. The Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage provides funding to local authorities under the suite of housing adaptation grants for older people and people with a disability to assist people in private homes to make their accommodation more suitable for their needs. These grants are available to people with an enduring physical, sensory, mental health or intellectual disability, or to older people who experience mobility issues or require essential repairs to their home so that they can continue to live independently at home. The grants are 80% funded by the Department, together with a 20% matching contribution from the resources of the local authority. The schemes are means tested and operate on a sliding scale, with the highest percentage of grants available to those with the lowest incomes and vice versa. The detailed administration of these schemes, including assessment, approval, prioritisation and appointment between the three schemes, is the responsibility of local authorities. In 2022, almost €86 million in funding was made available to facilitate the payment of over 12,000 grants. Local authorities were recently informed of their 2023 allocations, with each local authority receiving an increase on the 2022 allocation, continuing the year-on-year increases since 2014. Housing for All commits to undertaking a review of the range of housing grants available to assist with meeting specific housing needs, both for our ageing population and people with a disability. A report on the review of the housing adaptation grants for older people and people with a disability has been prepared by the Department for Minister Darragh O'Brien's consideration. Among the areas which the review considered are the income threshold and the grant limits. The review was informed by engagement with external stakeholders, for example, the Department of Health, the HSE, the Disability Federation of Ireland and the Irish Wheelchair Association. Written submissions were also invited and considered as part of this process. Minister Darragh O'Brien is acutely aware of the importance of the review work, particularly given that it is almost 10 years since these important grant schemes have been given this detailed consideration back in 2014. On foot of the careful consideration of the review report, Minister O'Brien has asked Department officials to engage with the Department of Public Expenditure, National Development Plan Delivery and Reform on the recommendations in the review report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Minister, Senator, you have a minute to respond.
Yeah, can I thank the Minister for his reply? First of all, I want to put on record my thanks to Government for the increase in the grant, and it states in the reply that the grants have increased year on year since 2014. That's very welcome, and it's a welcome for all those people I deal with on a daily basis, Minister. But today, again, we're not hearing what's happening, and I have people who are living in their sitting rooms using commodes, who cannot access proper facilities for themselves. Quality of life has been affected. It's simply not good enough, again, that we're saying that this was, which was promised a couple of months ago, that we still don't have word on the review. It seems to be going from one department to another. I know it's not your department directly, Minister, but I would plead with you today to bring it back to Minister O'Brien and ask him to quickly publish this report for the sake of so many that I'm dealing with, but not just me, Laska, like I'm sure yourself and indeed local representatives throughout the country are coming across this day in, day out, where people are not getting the quality of life that these grants should be providing and have provided in the past, simply because building costs have risen so much. So I would ask you to bring that back, and I thank you for agreeing to discuss this morning.
Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. In conclusion, I've listened very carefully to the points you've made. The funding available for these grants in 2023 has been increased by almost €2 million on the original 2022 provision to a total of €83 million. Given the real benefits of these schemes to people who rely on them to continue living their lives independently in their own homes, our objective is to continue to provide further increases in funding every year as part of the estimates process. Further increases will be in line with commitments made under the Housing for All plan and on foot of the engagement with the Department of Public Expenditure, NDP delivery and reform on the recommendations in the review report. I would say I just clarified as well when I got the initial answer that it is possible for local authorities to apply for additional funding during the course of the year as well, and some local authorities have done that, so that's a piece of information that may be useful, but I'll certainly bring the points you made directly back to the other Minister O'Brien as well. Thank you.